Okay, I'm just going to give you a little bit of an insight into how we operate on buying stuff from auctions. So this auction is down in Kings Lynn. It's Anglia Car Auctions. They do a classic auction every couple of months, every 6 or 8 weeks, something like that. And there's a couple of cars in it this time that I'm interested in. There's a gentleman who's died and they're selling a collection of his cars. These are all from the same chap here. There's a nice Austin 7 there, but it's already bid up to more than I would really want to be on it because it's not got a very nice interior. But we're interested in this car here, this little Austin 7. And we're going to run you through the process of actually trying to buy this at auction. There's no video. You get these pictures as you're seeing it now, and you can zoom in on them. They do like a bubble thing. You can zoom in like that, and that's all you get. Now, there's a £500 deposit before you bid, and we haven't seen the car, so it's all done blind. So just to give you an idea of the actual auction, the auction's already started. It's a 2-day auction, and you can see that they put the lot up here and the amount that the current bid is, and you can see a little bit of the car there. I'll just turn it on so you can hear the commentary.
Gets it.
So he's just sold that one.
The MGF, my word above it, is that a clean car.
And now there's another one coming in, so you get to hear him talking.
1997, it's MOT until July. It's been well looked after. I think you can all see that. Owner's not going to get the use out of it anymore. It's got.
He's not just bidding a minute, so that's what you get to see. But also on YouTube, they stream the whole thing live. So the guys that's running around with the cameras are actually doing this live on YouTube. So you, as well as doing that, you get to see it a little bit on YouTube as well. It's almost like being in the room. Now, there's another Austin 7 that we may be interested in as well, and it's this one here. It's not part of the collection. And we just have a look at this one. So I'm registered for this auction, so I'm signed into the bidding area now, and you can see there's already bids being placed on this car. It's been bid up to £600. It tells you how much the buyer's premium is. There's 8% fees on top of this, and then there's VAT on top of the 8% as well. So you have them to pay on top of whatever you decide to bid. But there's another little car we're thinking of having a look at. It's a non-runner. It's been in storage for quite some time. It's a little bit ratty looking on the edges of the wheel arches, but it is a Ruby, and Rubies have been making strong money recently. Rubies are the later Austin 7s, so we're just going to keep an eye on that, and if it kind of goes for sensibly cheap money, we might just have a go with it and see if we can revive it. Okay, it's got quite late in the afternoon, and we're approaching now where we're getting up towards this little Austin 7 Ruby that we're interested in, and so this is the page where I can see what the current bids are. I think they're currently on this Land Rover here. I'll just show you the live auction.
29 by the 3,000.
So they're selling the Land Rover, but the good thing is, look how few people there is in the auditorium there. So most of the day bidders that travelled down to see the auction have gone home. That's hopefully good for us. We'll see. It doesn't actually mean anything. There's other people online. It won't help. But we've only got a bid of £600 at the minute, which we can work with. So I'll just come back to you when it goes live. Oh, very quickly, we also got the YouTube live feed going as well. So we've got 3 screens to watch. Anyway, I'll come back to you very shortly.
Lot 348 there is a little Austin Ruby, this one, the little Austin 7. Registered
hardly anybody there, but there's some people there. Bidding. Look, it's just jumped up.
Showing just 95 miles on the speedo. Where are we going to go with this? State bar vendor is in reasonable condition. I think that's fair to say. Where are we going to go? We have got telephone bids on this one, and I've got to go straight in. £1,600 on bid now then for that is 1,700, 1,800, 1,900. At £1,900 for the Austin 7 Ruby now then at 1,900. At 1,900 looking for 2,000 quick anywhere, but at £1,900 on bid here now then at 1,900.
I don't think we'll get it for that.
1,900 looking for 2 quick anywhere, but at £1,900.
No reserve, so damn it comes down, we own it.
Then at 1,900 looking for 2 quick anywhere, 2,000 bid. At £2,000 on the telephone, 2-1. At 2-1 on bid there now, then at 2001. At 2-1 on bid there now. then a 2-1.
What we need now is what's called a fast handle. We won't get one.
At 2-1 on bid now. It's telephones out at 2,100 bid
Oh,
here
we're
now.
in
Then
telephones out. There's only me and telephone in it. Oh, you little swine.
Then a 2-2 at 2,223 at £2,300 on bid there now. Then a 2-3 at £2,300 on bid here now. Then a 2,300 is now going.
Someone find us an hammer.
2,300 2-4 at 2-4 on bid there now. Then a 2,004 at 2,425. Online now at 2-5. Telephones out at £2,500.
Oh, telling us they're out, so there's only us in it. I think we just might get it at 2-5.
2-5, that's
there we
yours,
go.
Internet.
We got
Thank
it.
you.
Okay, so we just won that. They're just finishing off their live video showing it sat there. We've give £2,500 for it, and then there's fees to go on top of it. And watch this space, and we'll see what we get when we go and pick it up, because it's all a bit unknown, isn't it? But there you go. That's the fun of the auctions. Here we go, look. This is the first time we've seen our little Austin that we bought at auction. That door's locked. It's good to know it locks up. First impressions, it's as good as I expected it to be. You might think it's as bad, but I know we can get this little beauty sorted out. The wings are better than I thought they were going to be, and the chrome's really good. It just wants a little bit of a tidying up. Bit of work on that bonnet there. Look, that's not going too well, is it? But we can get it all sorted. It's all doable. There we go. First view of the little Austin. Okay, the joy of buying at auction. So obviously the bonnet needs a little bit of work, and there was a picture of something wrapped up, and it's only a brand new painted bonnet top, isn't it? So there you go. This one's looking all right at the minute. First impressions are very good. Okay, the Austin 7, it arrived yesterday afternoon. Not really had a chance to look at it yet. I have dipped the oil, so we know we've got oil. And I've put some water in, and it's leaking ever so slightly, or it was. But these gaskets go dry, and I think they've swelled up a bit now, so that's good. So what we're going to do is, in order to make this thing drive and go pop, pop, bang, bang, we need a spark in here. We need fuel in here. And we need a little bit of compression with air. So we just need three things. An electric spark, some petrol, and some air. So we're just going to go through the process of getting those three together and see whether or not we can make it make a noise. Random fan belt, not off this vehicle, just thrown in there to confuse us. So that's the plugs out, and as you can see, they're all sooted up. Now that's quite common with vehicles that's been hanging around, because people keep trying to start them with a choke on and they soot all the plugs up. I can deal with that. Ben's putting his 2 pence in as well, look. Okay, so we've just done a compression test. We just tested for air in each of the cylinders. And whilst this looks horrendous on a modern gauge, because it's still in the red, that's actually quite good for 1930s. And I've tested all 4 of them, and you heard the air coming out then when I pressed it. So the first element that we need to make this engine run is achievable, and it's on all 4 cylinders, a nice even amount of compression, just over 60. Okay, look, I've cleaned up these spark plugs, and I've checked they've all got a gap. We're not at the stage of setting spark plug gaps yet, but they've got all the carbon off them, and what we're going to do next is check them for whether or not they're actually sparking, but we'll worry about fine-tuning later. What we need at the minute is a running engine. Quest for a spark. So I have a 6-volt battery. There was no battery came with the car. We've got the distributor open, and we've got the ignition switched on. These points here, what make the initial spark, are looking very clean and new, and I've got the ignition on. If I do this and open them up slightly, there you go. You see those sparks? So we've got spark at the contact, so that's good. That's the beginning of getting some spark. Cleaned up the rotor arm. This is what transmits spark through these leads up to the spark plugs, and everyone remembers to clean up that surface there on the edge, but they always forget that you need this bit as well, because this is where it transmits from the HT. So that's that all cleaned up, ready to go back on. Okay, this is bad to show, especially now the lights come on. There you go, just them little sparks then. So I'm cranking the engine, and there, the spark plug's not just properly earthed. See the little spark there on the... It's not very well earthed, and I can't hold the camera and hold the spark plug against the cylinder head at the same time, but I can see a spark, so I'm happy that that spark plug's working. So after the second spark test, when I've unscrewed the connector from the top of there, the top of the spark plugs come off, and the carabiners fell off, so this plug is now unfortunately knackered. But luckily I do have some spare ones, so we're going to try one of them again and see for spark number 2, because this plug died. So we're back on plug 2, replacement plug this time. And it's a weak spark, but I can see a spark, so that's good. So this is number 3, spark plug. This is the in search of a spark test that we're doing. There you go, you can see that one popping away. And this is the spark test on the last one, number 4. Hard to see when the light comes on the phone, but it is sparky, so we've got 4 sparks. Okay, the quest for a spark, we have sparks at all 4 plugs, we've checked them, and we're just having a look at the firing order. We've got 1, 3, 4, 2. That's what we expect it to be. I've not checked whether the timing's set correctly or whether they're 180 degrees out or anything at this stage. I'm just happy I've got 4 sparks, and I know I've got the air, the compression. So now we're going to move on to the fuel. Fuel, we need petrol now in order to make us go. This obviously looks horrible, doesn't it? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that out there, and I'm going to take this fuel bowl off here as well, and I'm going to smell it. And I know that sounds crazy, but if it smells waxy, I'll know for a fact that this is stale fuel. Unfortunately, you won't be able to get that on the video, but I'll do my best to explain it to you. Now, with the best will in the world, I don't think you can teach this. It's just something you just learn with experience. But this petrol doesn't smell too old and too stale to me. Obviously, it's bloody horrible colour, but it doesn't smell too off, too waxy, too stale a petrol. So I'm going to take this float bowl off next, and I'll report back again. And show you this as I take it off. There you go, look, the float is in there. What I'd like to do if I can is see whether there's any sediment. I'm just going to do the sniff test. It doesn't smell that bad, if I'm honest. It doesn't smell that bad. Let's just tip that out there, that float. Right, there's quite a bit of sediment in the bottom of there, so we're going to get all that cleaned out of there before we go any further. And the float's looking alright, the float's nice and steady. Right, we'll just go and get that cleaned up. Okay, we're going to need to get petrol from the tank at the back of the car to the carburettor, and that's done by this fuel pump here, and they give us a handy lever to test it, and as you can see, that is working. I'm at the rear of the car and I've done the old sniff test, and you look how dry everything is there, and I can definitely smell that waxy, gone off petrol smell. So I need to get the petrol out of the car. The petrol that's in there needs to come out. So I've been pumping out from the fuel pump and catching it here from the sediment bowl, and that's what we're taking out. It doesn't look anything like petrol, does it? So we're just going to have to carry on. I can't get my siphon tube down into the tank to get a thing, so I just have to do it manually if I keep pumping on the petrol pump. There's not a lot in there, I can feel it struggling already. Just added some petrol, I don't put a lot in, just about a gallon. What we're going to do is we're going to get down here and make sure we're not pushing any leaks out or anything. There was only a little bit in it, that's all looking good. I can't see any drips or anything, concrete's looking clean. So we've got some fresh petrol in the back. I've just been pulling petrol through now. I'm sure I can do this one-handed, but I will try. There we go. That looks a bit more like petrol. Still going to be a bit of sediment because we're pulling stuff through the pipes, but looks like we're getting some clean petrol through now. Got a new fibre washer on top of this sediment bowl. We're just having problems a minute ago with it leaking. Okay, we've got nice clean petrol now in the sediment bowl there. I've just put a new fibre washer on it. Might still leak a bit, but we'll worry about that a bit later. This has all been cleaned out. I've blown in there with the compressed air and cleaned all the little jets out. There's jets at the bottom down there where all that muck was before. Now we need to know whether this float that says top on it there actually floats, because it's no good if it sinks. So before we connect it up, I'm going to pump some petrol in to the float bowl. There we go, look, you can see it squirting in, and sure enough it floats, so it's doing its job. That's good. Okay, I said we needed 3 elements to make this car run. And we've been through and checked that we've got a spark. We've checked that we've got air, compression, and we now know we've got fuel. We undoubtedly will get a few fuel leaks from here because of all the messing we've just been doing. That chalk's sticking a bit, but that's okay, we can deal with that. So, it's got the elements it needs. I wonder if we can make it cough. Honestly guys, that's the first time I've cracked it. And like I said, we've got a few leaks, I'm not worried about that. Listen to that engine sound, absolutely lovely. Wow, that's lovely. So our non-running project is now a running project. Oh, I cannot believe that started on the first round, that's amazing. Here we are driving along in the little Austin Ruby that we've just revived. Really nice, good oil pressure on it. All 4 gears are selecting. We've got good, well, good for an Austin 7 brakes, and a good handbrake as well. Clutch is nice. Things are going in the right direction with this one this afternoon. We've got half of the lights working. It's hard, isn't it? Look at the back ones are working. Oh yeah, the back one's working. We've got a working wiper. Okay, first look under our little Austin 7 Ruby. We've not been under here before, so look at all the cobwebs in here, look. Look at all that. Obviously been laid up for some time, hasn't it? Same on both sides, look. Nice and fairly dry underneath the engine and gearbox. Chassis in good order, these airframes that carry all the front look good. We'll go through to this midsection here, look. This is all nice and solid. Dry, it's all dry. These are the cables for the brakes. They're all free and working, which is good. Nice midsection of the chassis there. It's good to see them that still got the holes in and that. Look at all the cobwebs up here, look. So let's go through to the back section. More cobwebs, more cables for the brakes working well, look. It's all good, it's just really dry everywhere. Look at the chassis, it's really solid. It's just dry. Bump stops are in place all the way up there, look. Little tiny pea shooter of exhaust full of cobwebs. Grand. Okay, well there you go, that's the first look underneath it. We'll okay, the Austin wheels and tyres, so they were looking very grubby and obviously lack of use. What we've done is we've spent quite a bit of time going in with this wire brush on the drill here, and we've really thoroughly given them clean, and then we've just given them a lick of paint, and they're looking a million times better. We've treated the tyre walls as well, so they look better too. Now, we haven't took these off and shot blast and primed them. That's not the intention here. Our intention is to get you good up and running Austin 7 that the next man can take to the next level if he wants to. So there we go, they're looking an awful lot better. They've been really well cleaned and scrubbed off. We spent ages in there with a wire brush. So they're all done. Went the wrong way, I should have started this one round here, shouldn't I? But all 4 wheels, all nicely cleaned up. Little bit of paint on them. Tyres all tyre blacked, looking great. A rub-a-dub-dub, we've given the Austin a right good scrub. Look at the difference under here now that we've cleaned all the cobwebs out and everything. We've lubricated it all. We've treated all the underside. It's all looking much better now. Put all the oil, all that dry rustiness is gone now. Look, it's all been wire brushed off and treated. We're looking fabulous now. There you go. Look at the difference in the back of those brakes and everything now that it's all got a nice clean up and everything. What a difference. It took a bit of time to get it done, and we've yet to go through and grease everything up, but we were going to do that. That's going to be the next job. But what a difference. A little bit of cleaning's made under here and a little bit of lubrication and underside treatment. Looking a lot better now. Okay, we're like kind of doing some service checks now on our lovely little Austin 7. So here we are at the back diff. And what we're hoping for is that there's some oil tries to come out of here. It'll be real gloopy thick oil. Let's have a look what we get. There we go, look at that look. That's perfect. So it's still a good dark colour. It's not all white and cloudy. And it's right up to the right level, because that's the level that you check the diff at, and that's the drain plug. So that'll do, that's all right. Okay, and carrying on with the service work, we're going to change the oil. It only holds just over 2 litres of oil, but as you can see, it's a while since that was changed, so we'll get that all out and get some nice fresh oil in. Okay, so the last oil's coming out now, and here's the sump plug. Now what you just like to do, there's a little bit of sludge on there, that's fine. But what I'm doing is I'm just rubbing that between my fingers to see if there's anything metallic in there or gritty, and there's not, to be fair. So we'll give that a clean up as well before we put it back in. Okay, so we're topping up, we're not topping up, we're replacing the oil in the little Ruby, and we're using Castrol Classic. Still available, you can still get proper oil for these cars. They don't hold much, just 2.7 litres is all it takes to fill one of these up. And there's our dipstick. Nice clear fresh oil, a lot better than what we took out, isn't it? Okay, and we're just checking the antifreeze. We've actually added antifreeze to this. This is this tube bulb thing I've got here is called a hydrometer. It just checks how strong your antifreeze mix is by how many of those discs, those coloured discs are floating. And we've got 2 discs floating at the minute, which tells us we're all good down to -12. So could really do with taking up a bit more, but it's fine for now, and we know we've got antifreeze in. Okay, we're inside the passenger footwell here, and I've removed this plug there, because that's where you check your gearbox oil, and I can see the level of the oil down there. I mean, it's not superb looking oil, but it's good oil. It's nice and thick, and there's plenty of it. And that plug hides behind that little plate that's held in with a screw and washer, so not easy to get to, but it does need checking, especially on a vehicle you don't know like this one, but we now know it's got gearbox oil. Okay, as long as you had the little Austin, the charging lights have been on, and it's always the same thing. In this little regulator box here, these points stick, there's some points there that switch it over between charging and not charging when you rev it up, and because it's not been used like everything else on the car, it was sticking, so I'll just give it a right good spray with some lubricating oil. And now I'm going to rev it up. It goes off, you see, so it's now charging. So it'll take a bit of while for that oil to work in, but that's the quick and easy fix to no charging. When we arrived to pick this car up from the auction house, this bonnet here was split. This is the original bonnet with the red stripe on it. And it's just due to corrosion on the hinge. It was an absolute nightmare to get separated because these side pieces are still the original, and this new bonnet was in the car, all painted and everything, waiting to go on. We just had to get these rods out of here that separate those side pieces on. It was a nightmare. Days and days I keep squirting WD-40 oil on just to get them to free up a bit, and even then we really struggled with. That side eventually came out, this side didn't, and we had to cut these off and open them up with screwdrivers to free up, and then it just sits right on, and we got a little bit of red stripe just to add it on there to match it up. So there it is with its new bonnet done. It wasn't a big job, just a very difficult one. The engine's fairly warm at the minute. We've had it sat ticking over for quite a while. Look at that oil pressure. Still going off the clock. That's fabulous. So here's the finished product. All the little jobs have done. It's been out on the road. We've tested it. It's doing everything it should do. It's been advertised and it's already been sold. It's going to a new home down in Lancashire. It's been a real pleasure to do this, and we hope you enjoyed watching the video and picked up some good tips on how to revive your Austin 7 or just generally interested in pre-war cars. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it.